What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Hawk Talk here on 91.7 The Edge, WSUW Whitewater, as well as streamed live on UWW-TV's YouTube. I am the impromptu host for the final episode of the semester. I'm Drew Betts. I'm the station manager, filling in for the normally very talented Nolan Kopodlowski. And also joining me is the normal crew for Thursdays, Jalen, Austin, Adam, Nazir, and Keys. We've had some pretty great shows throughout the semester, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how this final one turns out. We just got to kind of check in with everybody. Finals week's coming up. How's everyone feeling with that?
I'm pretty much done.
Good,
I'm pretty done for real.
Pretty done.
Yeah.
Man, I wish I could say the same. I got plenty of work for next week, so yeah, it's gonna be a busy turnout. But I think that this is a great way to kind of step away and just take some time to talk some sports, hawk some talk, and then just kind of work through everything afterwards. That can be kind of just a side subject, but glad everybody's doing well. We're starting to get to that point. We only have 59 minutes left of Hawk Talk for the semester before we take our time off and revisit again in January. Is anybody going to be returning to radio next semester from this crew?
I think I will.
I'm on the border right now. I just have to pick my classes.
All right, who knows? Maybe we got some Hawk Talk returners. For those who are exiting, thank you for your time here. We are incredibly grateful. So with that being said, we're not going to waste any time. Our first subject is going to be a subject that these guys have covered weekly, but I have unfortunately not been able to be part of it. It's the Hawk Talk Flying 5 picks. So basically ever since, week 4, they've been taking picks for multiple games across the NFL, and man, it was a really good turnout in terms of points at the end. We are wrapping up. There will be no more picks this week, unfortunately, which I know that some people on the show were a little bit upset about. Yeah. But the final results tend to be in last place is Adam with 24 points. That's very unfortunate. Only 24 points the whole semester.
Saying some wild picks. You should have heard them.
Yep.
I thought they were good at times.
Or no, we had him at 27. I was reading the wrong one. So there you go, 3 more points.
Let's go.
Brownie points. But all right, next in second to last place was the host, Nolan. So Nolan did not get any points from last week, which is really unfortunate.
That's tough.
Okay. By the way, shout out to Austin and Adam for picking the Packers last week over the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of that.
Okay, we have an explanation for that.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, let's hear it before we.
Well, okay. So the reason I didn't pick is because me and Jalen were like neck and neck, and I wanted to see if I could, trick him a little bit. I picked the Chiefs, and then he picked the Chiefs right after me. So I was like, oh well, it won't matter. So
hey man, I thought the Chiefs were gonna win that game.
I knew the Packers were gonna win that game. I was too scared.
Yeah. I had a sneaking suspicion the whole time too, but I mean Taylor Swift was there, and that's
right.
what everybody seemed to care about.
I don't want to hear it.
Hey, Simone Biles was there too. Also, we got Lil Wayne. So
there you go. See,
one more good
right there.
Fun fact: me and Lil Wayne have the same birthday, just 19 years apart. So
me and Future have the same birthday.
You could call me the reincarnation of Lil Wayne if you wanted to.
Me and America has the same birthday.
Yeah. Fourth place was Cassania, 33 points. Picked up 1 point last week. Texans over the Broncos. Coming up in third place, Austin, 35 points. Nice. Had the best week last week, though. Picked up 5 points. Picked the Packers, Texans, Falcons, all right, as well as the lock, Tampa Bay over Carolina. And second place, very narrow second place, was Nazir. Picked up 1 point last week.
You hear that? Oh, man.
Very, very tough, but in first place and receiving this belt for the rest of the show, the 91.7 The Edge belt, is Jalen with 45 points. Congratulations to Jalen.
Unbelievable.
A very successful semester for Jalen. But, man, so obviously you guys were a part of this way more than I was, so you guys got to give me a little bit of a rundown of, what were some of the most absurd picks? What were some picks that, was there someone who had an insane upset pick that everybody said was just blasphemy and then it worked out? What were some of those stories from the semester?
I think someone picked the Panthers? I don't remember. Someone picked the Panthers to win. I think they did win that week. Someone did, I think. But I think my worst picks were probably the Chargers because I swear I would have beat them by 5 if I didn't pick the Chargers every week.
Yeah, if you picked against the Chargers, you probably would have won this
exactly.
thing. So
I had picked the Rams to beat. What was that? The Steelers? I think it was.
Yeah.
No, that was the Seahawks. The Rams beat the Seahawks. They came back and won by a point.
Oh, wow. I can't remember that actually. Yeah, you texted in the chat. I remember that.
Yeah, I'm looking
My
back at
upset
that.
pick.
Looking back at that Chargers-Packers game, everybody picked the Chargers
Yeah,
that week.
Well, I convinced every single person to pick them. That's why.
Hey, well, that was a high-scoring week in terms of points, though. Everybody picked the Eagles for the most part, except for Nolan. We can make fun of him since he's not here. That was rough. But everybody picked the Ravens that week. Everybody got their lock except for Cassania. A lot of points that week. I got to see it. Cassania, though, had an 8-point week. Week 9 was perfect for the week. Got 8 points. That was impressive.
Nice.
Let me see if I can.
I think I
The
had a
only other
perfect week.
perfect week that I saw on here was Jalen in week 5. He's the only one to pick the Raiders over the Packers, picked the Bengals over Cincy.
All right.
He got his upset Chicago over Washington in that one too.
I'm telling you,
That was in a
man.
time.
Bad
That was in a time where Chicago was not looking very good, not in a very good place. But Jalen, I know you're a Bears fan there, so it's only right for you to help them out and get the upset pick for
Yeah.
them there.
Mhm. Appreciate it, Fields.
Yeah, man. But I was not obviously a part of the picks, but I had a pretty good pick earlier in the semester with our UWW TV crew where I picked the Giants to win a game when I believe they were 1-5 at the time. I think it was week 6 or 7. It was right before I left for a conference, and everybody was just not having it. They were giving me all this noise, and I'm like, just wait.
Just wait.
Which I didn't really believe it. I just need.
I don't think you even believe that.
Those of you who are a part of those pick'ems every Friday morning, I like to give some outrageous stuff so that I think if you pick something outrageous and you get it wrong, I think that's not as bad as the opportunity to be right when everybody else is wrong. I like that much better. So obviously, unfortunately, I picked the Panthers at one point in the semester, and that's not going to happen ever again. At least we'll have to see what happens with their coaching situation and their short quarterback. But man, fun semester. Pick'ems have always been a part of the Thursday show, and by the time that we come back, we're going to be in playoffs. So the people who are normally on these Pick'em Thursdays are going to be looking at potentially NFC, AFC championships and Super Bowls. And it kind of just depends on how early we start in the semester, but I think that's going to be very exciting. But once again, congratulations to Jalen on taking home the Flying 5 championship. So good for him holding on at the end. Very closely competitive except for Adam. So Adam, do you have anything to say coming out of the last place spot? Were you tanking for Caleb Williams?
I thought my picks were fine, but I did say at the start of the season that Brock Purdy MVP, and now he's in first for MVP.
Yeah,
Odds.
for dink and dunks.
He shouldn't.
Every-
No,
I remember
whatever.
I said Luca for NBA
Me too.
MVP.
Me too.
Yeah, well,
See?
Holds up.
before we move on to our next topic, give me your MVP vote for the NFL right now.
Christian McCaffrey.
Oh my
CMC.
If Tyreek hits 2,000
fleek.
yards,
It is
give me
fleek.
Tyreek.
Man, 2 non-quarterbacks right away. Adam, who's your
Brock
pick? Brock
Purdy.
Purdy still?
From the start.
It's Tyreek, and I don't think it's close if he
Yeah.
beats that record.
Tyreek?
Calvin Johnson didn't do it. Ain't no way.
Well, if Tyreek does it,
Well,
then
Tyreek also gets one more game to do it than Megatron did.
If he
You
beats
guys
it in
got that.
17, though, then what?
Yeah, we'll see.
You see what I'm
I
saying?
mean, Christian McCaffrey is the 49ers, pretty much.
Yeah.
So,
You can say the same for Tyreek, in a way.
yeah, well, I mean, well, he does have Jalen Waddle over there, too, so that ain't no
He
bomb.
hasn't done anything, though.
Yeah, but does anybody have the current record for the Dolphins when they play against teams with a winning record right now?
They're
It's
over.
like 1 for 3 or something.
No, they haven't won a game.
They haven't
Nope.
won a serious game yet.
Nope.
Yeah, so that could
They're
be
over.
something that goes into consideration as well. But I love how nobody's picking quarterbacks. Keith, who's yours?
I like CMC.
You like CMC? Man,
So,
whew, that's going to be interesting. Coach of the year?
They're
Who do you have?
Oh, they should
D'Amico Ryans.
D'Amico Ryans.
Yes.
D'Amico or
Correct.
Pete Carroll again, probably.
I think
No.
D'Amico Ryans is the number one.
If Seahawks make the playoffs, they should give it to him.
No.
No.
Not at all.
I think it's Kyle.
Well, they're not
I think
going to
it's Kyle.
make the playoffs because the Packers are going to make the playoffs.
Definitely
Yeah.
D'Amico Ryans for
Maybe.
sure.
I think if the Packers win out, you have to give it to Matt LaFleur. To go from 2-6
I
to
agree. No, I agree.
if you go from if you win 10 games in a row to finish the season,
No, I agree.
You got
Matt
it.
LaFleur is disrespected in this league.
he is.
I don't remember who told me this, but they said if Packers don't make playoffs, that they should fire him, and I don't think that's a smart
That's
decision.
crazy.
That's just
He's way
people
too
just
good of a
being
coach.
trolls.
I don't
at
remember
that
who
point.
told me that.
Are we forgetting about Dan Campbell?
Dan Campbell's had a fantastic year. He's got to be in that conversation too. I think
Yeah,
that he's
I can
Turning
say
the
that.
Lions like organization.
But they were
around.
turning around last year at the end
I
of the
would love to
season.
see
The
him.
Texans were just trash all year. last year.
He Texans coach deserves it. I feel
Yeah.
like.
I think it's going to be an interesting debate, and I
For a
think that
rookie?
quarterbacks have been getting hurt too much this year to really like.
Yeah.
There's a lot of value in the pieces around it, and I think that we're starting to see that finally. It's been a really long time since we've seen a
Who's the-
non-quarterback win it.
Who's the Browns coach? I forget.
Man,
He's
it's not
Stefanski?
Stefanski.
He's doing a pretty
It's
good
It is
job.
Stefanski.
He's doing
I
a
mean,
pretty good
yeah,
job.
after Chubb went
Deshaun,
down,
yeah.
Yeah,
Deshaun and Chubb, no Chubb.
Good
I
stuff.
believe they're
Playing some good football
second,
still.
right, in the AFC North, right?
Yeah, they're second right now.
Yeah, Ravens have been playing really well this year too.
Oh,
like-
yeah, absolutely.
They're tied with the Steelers right now, though.
Yeah. I think that the biggest blunder in recent NFL memory is the former Washington Redskins coaching staff that is now scattered across the NFL. That one time they had Shanahan, LaFleur, McDaniel. They had the whole show there.
They talk about
Did
that
nothing.
often.
Did
They talk about
nothing
that
either.
often. Now they're all blossoming.
Yeah, and they're all good, and none of them are helping the Commanders out. So
You're
they're
just beating
actually
them.
making it harder for them.
Yeah.
So,
Just beating them.
but man, that's going to be interesting. That's a topic that's going to change throughout these coming weeks. So I think that we could look back on this, and some crazy stuff could happen, and then all of us just look wrong and just look stupid. But hey, maybe Brock Purdy throws a couple deep balls every once in a while.
I think that the 49ers could sweep all the awards.
Oh, I don't know. About that.
Offensive for the offense player of the year, you
Yeah,
got
but
Christian McCaffrey. The coach of the year could be Kyle. The defensive player could be was it Nick Bosa?
He's not going to win.
No, I actually can't. No.
I'm just saying.
It's gonna be
that's-
T.J. Watt, Khalil Mack's in that conversation.
Khalil Mack is going on pace to break the sack record.
Yeah.
Right
You got
now.
Brian Branch out there with the Cowboys right now.
just saying.
Khalil Mack's getting
Yeah.
snubbed right
Everything
now.
about that Cowboys defense looks amazing right now, except for last week. They
get
were letting
Bland got
Seahawks
destroyed.
rain on them a little
Bland
bit.
got murdered that game, man.
But that was
bad.
both ways. There was 0 punts in that game. Like
Right.
No, yeah,
that's
that was an offensive
insane.
shootout.
But yeah, so we're gonna move on to our next topic. Fly 5 is a wrap for now. We'll have to see if that comes back in a basketball fashion or maybe in an NCAA tournament fashion next semester. It's all going to be up to whoever runs the Thursday shows or whoever wants to take on that role. If no one comes back and wants it back, we're going to give it to them. So glad you could put that together. We needed a new brand because it's so hard to pick all the games every Thursday. That's what we used to do. I like that we were able to slim it down a little bit and
Yeah.
make it more investive for the crew. So big fan of that. But now we move on to baseball, where we are going to talk about Juan Hope. Juan Soto's a Yankee, and it was something that was kind of being talked about throughout recent time. We had this conversation as a group yesterday where rumors were starting to soar around a little bit, and we're like, is it real? Is this something that could really go and happen? What sort of pieces would be involved? It happened. 7-player trade, and the way I see it, I don't think that the Yankees can lose. Unless, is there anybody that thinks that there's a way that this could go wrong for the Yankees?
Injuries.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's all I can think
They
of.
need
Besides
pitching.
injuries, it's-
They need pitching for real.
They need a lot of pitching.
Bad.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be interesting.
That's why they didn't make the playoffs. It was pitching.
Brewers have better pitching. So,
And that's saying something.
That's saying a lot.
Saying
And
a
there's
lot.
plenty of people who believe that the Brewers should have sold on some of their pitching at the winter meetings. Okay, Sam Strash. Sam Strash was talking to me about it all week.
Yeah.
The pitcher's market is insane.
Yeah, it is.
It is, but it's crazy
Did
the
you see
amount
what
of money
Aaron
that they're
Bummer
gonna be
went
getting
for?
too.
It's too much money at one point. I
Yeah.
feel like if you start sucking too.
The Japanese pitcher Yamamoto is going as they say is average asking for $300 million as well. That's wild.
It's crazy.
they're gonna pay him too.
And I heard that the Yankees are probably going to be out of those sweepstakes because they made his agent a little mad last week. I forgot what the
They beat
comment
with
was.
him on Monday.
Yeah, that there was a comment about one of the other players that they were trying to sign, and that player had the same agent as Yamamoto, and obviously he's a little mad at that organization. The Bronx is probably not going to have Yamamoto on their roster at any
yeah, that's
point
true.
in the future. I don't think. It's going to be tough, but they do have Juan Soto, and that's the biggest thing that came out of those winter meetings. 7-player trade. We look at those 5 pieces that the Padres got, though. What's kind of the insight on those guys for you guys?
Michael King's going to be pretty good, in my opinion. He showed a lot of flashes toward the end of the season last year, and
Who's the other guy?
I don't think they really wanted to give up Michael King. That's why I probably drug out so long, and they probably asked for Trent Grisham too, in my opinion. But I believe, Michael King is he's going to be something.
Trent Grisham, former Brewer.
I like him.
I mean, obviously, as a Brewers fan, you think back to that series with the Nationals a few years back, and you're like, I'm kind of glad that he started sucking afterwards. But
Right.
he's a good bet. He'll be valuable off the bench for the Yankees.
Sure.
I'm saying he's off the
Sure.
bench. I like him. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know if he's a bona fide star.
And they got Verdugo too over there in New
Yeah.
York,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and he's gonna have to shave the beard because, as you know, the
It's gonna
Yankees
look
do not
weird.
allow beards.
It's gonna look so weird.
Yeah.
Very weird.
I mean, we've seen it. We've seen it multiple times before. We saw Lance Lynn lose it. We saw Garrett Cole lose it.
Yeah.
Some
But-
guys don't need to lose the beard.
Why
They
is that
don't-
a thing? I
Like,
don't-
It's kind of a culture thing. I'm pretty sure.
Been doing
It's
it ever
just-
since
it's a
the
Steinbrenner
early-
thing. I'm pretty sure.
Mhm. Yeah, they've been doing it ever since the early, like, way back when. They've been doing that for a long time.
That's cool. I never knew that.
Yeah. Man, but obviously we see Verdugo come in, you see Juan Soto come in, you see Grisham now likely will come off the bench. And then on the other side, you got to see, Michael King, we already talked about, Johnny Brito, you got Randy Vasquez, Drew
Brito.
Thorpe, backup catcher Kyle Higashioka.
That's a good catcher right there.
That's a great catcher. And he's going to be, I think he's going to fill in well as that backup.
He caught Herman's perfect game against the A's.
He did. Which
Oh,
that's
I forgot.
that sequence of games for Herman this year was a little bit ridiculous because I'm pretty sure that he had a horrible start before that and then a horrible start after.
Literally, yeah, it came out of nowhere.
Yeah, and well, that's baseball for you.
Sure.
Yeah, and I was looking today. I saw a minor league game where the Trash Pandas threw a no hitter and lost 7-5. In the ninth inning, they gave up 7 runs, like multiple hit by pitches, multiple walks, 2 errors.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, but just a blunder.
Yeah,
Shout out
that's-
Chattanooga Lookouts.
That's baseball for you
yeah,
right there.
very much baseball.
That's
In a
a,
blender.
I don't imagine many of those players will be on MLB rosters anytime soon. Especially not whoever was pitching for the Pandas in the ninth inning. But
maybe a catcher or two, maybe.
yeah, but from a Padres perspective, what do you think that these 5 pieces will bring in the coming years? Because you have some younger guys, some younger arms, great bullpen arms. I think that we can see some of those guys fill in as starting pitchers at some point. Are the Padres contending still?
No, I don't think.
Is
so.
this a sell? Is this a
Hard to,
complete
it's
sell?
hard
I
to
think-
say that
I
they're not
think-
going to be contending.
I
though.
think they're pretty much like the Brewers this year. I
They
think
have
that's
3
how they-
superstars.
They have 3 superstars, but like that's it. Like not like no one that really stands out to the eye. I feel like
And the other thing you got to think about is there's so many pieces still available on free agency even after the meetings.
It's true.
they have the money, so
Yeah, they got the money
Well,
now.
I don't think they do because that's why they let Juan Soto go.
Yeah, they
They
were
couldn't
trying
pay
to.
him next year.
yeah, weren't they trying to
Well-
create more money? Like
Yeah, they
more
were trying.
space?
Yeah, they were trying to create more space because he was going to cost too
Juan
much.
Soto was
Yeah.
not going to come back.
And did that
That's why they got rid of him as soon as they could.
did that clear up a lot of things, or
Yeah,
'cause I'm sure they have a lot of money.
I'm sure it might not clear up as much this year, but I think down the line that'll
Yeah.
Down the line, I mean, yeah.
make other things more interesting. But you could really look at, and we were talking already about pitchers, but there's so many options left. Otani has not went off the board yet. Aaron Nola, Blake Snell, Sonny Gray, Jordan Montgomery, Kershaw's a free agent, Brandon Woodruff's a free agent, Kyle Gibson, Marcus Stroman, Julio Urias is a free agent, Michael Wacha,
Well, some of those signed already.
Giolito. Still, the market.
Yeah, it was crazy.
We've seen everything move already for the most part, but there's still a ton of pieces left.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's like
Yes,
a-
Noah's back with Philly. Sonny Gray signed with St. Louis. Gibson's on a 1 year in St. Louis as well. Eduardo Rodriguez went to AZ, which that was an insane contract
that
too.
was crazy.
How about Arizona? How about St. Louis though?
They signed Lance
3
Lynn back too.
starters?
Yeah, so it's
Wow.
Not gonna do anything.
they,
I mean-
all that work to go 82 and 80 next year.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know.
Ain't gonna do much,
It's
but
crazy, man.
be fun to watch.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yes,
One of
but
those.
we-
one of those fun teams. I guess.
We know the one team in California that's not going to get Otani is the Dodgers because Dave Roberts has a leaky mouth and decided to say that he met with Otani.
then he had the nerve to say, "Do you want me to lie?" Yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
Yeah, you no longer have Otani. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting to see where he turns out. Does anybody want to take a pitch and say, "Hey, this is where Otani's going to be in a month from now"?
Yeah.
Will he be signed in the next month?
Yeah, they're talking about they're trying to what was that his name? Morosi was trying to say he's going to sign by the weekend or something like that, but we know how that played out already. They say he was going to sign before the meetings or sign at the meetings too, and that didn't happen. So
Well, it's a big deal. You got to think about obviously a lot of money involved. There would have been a lot more money if he was going to be pitching next year.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
yeah, find teams that are going to be willing to pay that money. You're going to try probably extort them a little bit. You have to imagine this is probably the last time where you can put Ohtani on a huge long distance contract. You can't really, or you could really even kind of. You don't really want to play the short game with him because he's a generational talent. So that's the main thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, Juan Soto. I think that the Yankees are the outright winner. I think the only way that this goes against the fan for them is if Juan Soto just degenerates as a player.
Which I don't think.
I don't think that's
Which
going to happen.
that's not going to happen.
No time soon.
Yes, and well, the other thing is if he doesn't perform at a high level, does he sign back?
Yeah, of course, I think so. I mean, I don't see why. Where else? Where would he
That's
go?
a- that's
We know
tough
he's going
decision.
to.
Where would he
I'm willing
go?
to bet if the Yankees make a large run, and Soto is a huge piece of that. If he's a
It's a large
catalyst on,
market.
if we know what he is as a fielder, if he can really get this back going, I think that he stays, and he's going to need to get paid a lot of money
Right.
to stay. But
It's a large market. Though.
Like,
They can
remember,
afford
he
it.
already got the ring, too. He already has his ring, so he ain't ring chasing.
yeah, I mean, 2
He's
rings
trying to-
looks a little bit better than 1 in many cases, but or Juan.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that the Yankees really needed to make a move like that. But we've seen this before. Make big moves, still losing the ALDS, ALCS.
Yeah, there's no guarantee that they go into the World Series, so
Yeah. Do you think this is the move that brings them number 28?
Orioles ain't going nowhere, neither are the Blue Jays.
Man, that's such a competitive division. I think that it's really going to be once again entertaining. I think that the Orioles are going to probably, if they don't top it, they'll be a wild card. That's a team that I believe could have been in the market for Corbin Burns. I think if they pick up Corbin Burns, that'd be really interesting. That would compete very heavily.
For sure.
But any last thoughts before we move on to our next topic?
That gives that lets the Cubs find a way to still keep Bellinger involved. 'Cause we know he ain't going to New York at all.
Yeah, well, I'm sure the Cubs would like to have him back.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Ohtani first though.
Yeah, we'll see where the money flies after that, but we're going to cross over now into basketball. We're going to talk a little bit about this in-season tournament where currently the Milwaukee Bucks are not having a good time. They're losing 63-51 at halftime. Pacers, though, have looked very special. 11-8 record, but I think that you got to look at the grand scheme and just be like, wow, this is a team that's ready to compete. And Tyrese, Oshkosh native, very, very great player. And man, so I know that we had a few guys out here watching the game before they got here. What looked ugly for the Bucks in those first few bits?
Dan Lillard.
Dame not shooting well.
Not getting the jersey until he proves it to me, man.
Yeah.
Not
2
doing
for
it.
10 right now.
Not doing it.
He's
Yeah.
my
Been
boy, but
passive
he's
all
letting
year.
everybody down right now.
Yeah, I'm not getting a Dame jersey until he starts proving me. Like I
So
know they're 15
early
and 6,
though, it's
but
like
if they're 15 and 6 and they're still figuring it out, which is really impressive.
I don't know. It's like it's so early, which is like, but you don't want to lose that in-season tournament because you playing for something.
Because here's my thing about the in-season tournament. In a few years, that's gonna like count on your like resume. Like that's gonna be like, oh, he won this many
Yeah.
in-season tournaments.
Yeah, it's
you know
like
what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I wish
like
you
you
did
wanna
it, but you're probably right.
if you wanna like win like some games and you want to prove yourself to be like dominant and like at the end of your career, people are gonna look at like, your numbers, blah blah blah, how many NBA finals you have, but then they're gonna look at the in-season tournaments eventually, and they're gonna be like, oh, it's gonna be like very significant one day. So I think they need to step it up and win the first one ever. That'd
I
be
guess
cool.
I guess that becomes my big question now too, just to you guys. Are you pro in-season tournament
Oh, yeah.
or not
Oh,
pro
yeah.
in-season
I love
tournament?
It gives people earlier on in the season like something to play for.
It's
A reason
giving
to
teams-
Playing
it's
for
giving,
500K. Oh,
It's giving young teams like the Pacers right now, like it's giving them something to play for.
all those guys on the
We know
bench.
the Pacers ain't making the
Yeah,
playoffs.
well, all those guys on the bench aren't even making like 10 mil or anything yet. So like, if you get that 500K, that's like really special to them. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
And
something to
spotlight.
think about too. Yeah, spotlight for a little bit. Yeah.
And they're really doing it up in Vegas too.
Yeah, they
They are looking good. They got the court.
Yeah, it looks
Now, I
nice.
love not all of the in-season tournament courts. Some of those are really
I don't like the
ugly.
Heat one.
Yeah, they should
Heat
fix
one.
that. Other than that,
Yeah. Did you see the stuff where the Lakers can't wear
Lakers
their
can't
black
wear
That was
uniforms?
stupid.
I-
I don't know that. They didn't even. It's a black jersey. You can see them.
Yeah, and it's the court. There's no black on the court.
It's all yellow.
Yes.
I like the Pacers. Their in-season court. Theirs is pretty.
And their
cool.
jerseys, I
Their
like
jerseys
that
are really nice
Indiana.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, you got to think about like we've already seen the Pacers and Bucks play this year, and the Pacers had a big lead on the Bucks in that one too. Bucks nearly got back into that one, had a pretty
Giannis
big
had
lead towards the
54
end,
points
and then
against them.
Indiana came back and won it. So I think that this is a game that's going to go down to the finish once again. But
I think Bucks win 121 to 118. That's my prediction.
Mm.
I think we'll turn around.
Yeah.
If Dame can come back in the second half,
I think he'll be
He's
fine.
really
he
second half
usually
player.
Not
does.
even
He
Dame.
usually
It's a
does.
second half
What
player.
about Chris Middleton? Where is he during these times? I mean, I know he's the third option or fourth option.
He's got 7
sometimes.
points right
I
now.
know I've seen
I
him
think
turn
he's
the
on the
ball over one
downturn
time.
at this point.
Yeah.
I
He's
wish
he's
we
kind
got
of.
rid of him and kept Holiday.
I think his times past 2019 to 2021 was we had him in that spot when
We
we
have
needed
to
him.
deal him soon.
I was
Still on
praying he was
restriction,
gone,
though,
man.
like, he's-
I know he's under restriction, but still with those restriction minutes, you gotta like do something. I feel like, you know.
Yeah.
He got 7.
I mean,
Yeah,
he's
but-
shooting 3 for 4 right now at the half, but
Yeah, but what were those 3 for 4? Were they easy, like little drive through the layups, or were they jumpers that was contested?
he hit 1 3 and a fadeaway, and I'm assuming it's going to be another layup, but
Like Jordan sometimes.
Yeah, but
He can really turn it. He can turn it around if he needs to, but he just hasn't.
Yeah.
And like this is like I said, this could be important like down the line. I don't know for just significance and just how your team looks. I don't know.
I saw it.
Remember, this is like playoff atmosphere too, so
Yeah, you want to fight for something. You want to win.
it's like playoff atmosphere.
No one likes losing. Don't lose this.
Keys, what's your take?
I saw a tweet where someone said that like eventually they should make it for the winner to get a automatic playoff berth.
Man,
I don't know about that.
I don't-
I think
no, that's not-
they would
I
have
don't
to
think
put this
that-
later in the season. If
Automatic
Automatic playoff, or so
Ooh.
you screwing teams that could potentially like.
well,
we could win this and
I
then
don't
They
just
actually give you something to fight for.
You
though.
would,
I don't hate it.
man. You would
Yeah,
die
but-
for balls.
But if you get an automatic playoff spot
Then
in
people just
December,
rest.
ain't
You can
nobody
just
gonna
rest
play for
load
real.
management
Everybody's
for the
resting.
They could end
majority
up
of the season.
going like. They
That
could end
would-
up getting like 30 wins.
That would lose money for the organization for
Yeah.
the NBA in general. Like
They
it
could
would
end
make
up
no
making
sense.
the playoffs with like 30 wins.
Like imagine if like Jokic just wins it every year. It just get boring. We already know he's gonna make
Yeah.
it. You know.
Yeah.
So
right.
it wouldn't really make sense to give him.
You don't really see
Normal
3-peat
seed.
MVP.
What if they did it for like you got like a better odds for like a draft pick or something? I don't know, like
Oh yeah.
some with a
Yeah.
little
Do
more
that.
stakes, but still like I don't
But then
know.
again, that's tough as well
I
because
think-
you know the teams that really need that draft pick. Though.
Yeah.
Like say if the
That's
Pistons
for
got in.
balance purposes only.
Like if somehow the Pistons got in and they have a losing record still, but like you win
Right.
the in-season tournament, then you got a better chance at the pick. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
okay,
trying
yeah,
to
I
say?
can see that. I can see that.
Yeah.
I
But
can
if you're
see
like
that.
a winning team, then you just win the money, I guess. I
Yeah,
don't know.
Yeah,
like,
I can see
money's
that.
the biggest like
Yeah, but if
thing
you-
you can just give.
But
to
if you're looking for
anybody.
a future like thing, then I feel like
I just feel like, well, not for every player, but that 500K ain't to nobody.
Giannis takes the free water bottles out of the fridge, so. he's
But think about it. That
loving
500K can like end up in a charity for someone.
Yeah.
Like people would normally say that they're gonna like donate like at least 80, maybe all of it to
well, like
charity.
500K to LeBron is nothing. So
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure
Well, no, he'll just give it to charity.
Exactly,
That
I'm sure.
500K to LeBron's charity is
Right.
gonna mean like, oh my God,
he's
that's world
gonna
changing.
put it to his school probably.
Literally, that's like world changing money.
school, it's feeling.
Maybe his daughter.
and you guys mentioned it right at the beginning. Like the purpose of this in-season tournament was to like give them something to play for earlier on in the season. So I think it would be interesting if they implement like improved odds in the draft lottery
Yeah.
or a playoff spot. I think that would make things really interesting. I don't think that the playoff spot would go through because
How about
there's
a,
a whole half a season to play.
Right.
How about a play-in spot? Maybe. Not a full-on playoff spot, but a play-in spot. Maybe.
But who
But
knows?
yeah, a little bit
We
better.
saw the Heat though go from
Wild
like the
card.
10 seed
Yeah.
climb in.
But think
like,
about if you're like
Sure.
the Bucks and you win the in-season tournament, and then you're already still the one seed in the playoffs, and there's not really what happens to that play-in spot. Then it just goes to the next
Give it-
person up.
Give it to the runner-up, I guess. Yeah, that's,
I
that's
mean,
the only thing you can
but-
think about that.
But
It's
that
stupid, but
kind of
Yeah.
just takes away from the.
Yeah.
I think that all that stuff would be really interesting.
because I don't think they're gonna give out free 500K every year. Like I just don't think that's realistic.
Well, they making that in ticket sales anyway.
Yeah, but
So
like,
it's like
I don't know. That's
to the NBA, I don't think
Adam
500K
gonna
means
figure it out.
nothing.
But he doing good.
But for each player and like for each staff member, I would assume. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but don't forget they got the NBA G League, they got the NBA actually, then they got playoffs. You know how much money they rack up a year?
They're
And they got
advertising this a
2K.
lot.
Literally, and now they got 2K.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And well, the other thing you got to think about
a
is
year?
they get so much money from overseas
Oh,
and
yeah.
NBA China,
That
NBA
too.
Germany, all those.
Yeah.
This is a global sport now. This is the NBA made this a global sport.
Yeah.
We'll see next
Yeah,
year.
that
Olympics,
NBA
we'll
brand
see.
is worth
Yeah, we need to
tens
see
of
this
billions of
develop.
dollars.
Adam
Finally
Silver
came to every
has
playoff
been
meeting.
a tremendous commissioner.
Yeah, he has been.
Adam Silver has killed it
Way
ever
better
since he
than
filled in that
Roger
spot.
Goodell.
Yeah,
Roger
they should
Goodell.
switch. Those two.
Can Adam
Roger
Silver just
Goodell.
take over for the NFL?
Take over both, he'll be a trillionaire. in,
I'm so
like, no
excited
time.
for like the NFL when he leaves because like we'll have cool
He's horrible.
cleats, celebrations. Like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he
I
making
can't
the
believe they
football
finding people for
soft.
putting up the deuces. That's
Yeah,
ridiculous
no,
to
Oh
me.
yeah, when he turned around and Tyreek Hill. Yeah,
Tyreek
Yeah.
Hill, social
Celebrate
media
now?
guy, got banned from
Yeah,
the NFL.
Yeah, like
He didn't.
what are
the
we
phone got
doing?
taken from him.
I
Like,
follow
what are we
on TikTok.
doing?
I would have
Yeah.
pleaded my case so
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
There's
Like, bro,
no
what are
way.
we doing?
Like, you should not be able to lose your job just because he took your phone
Yeah.
and you celebrated for it. I mean, that's his
Yeah.
guy. You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
Yeah, the
Aren't y'all
sport.
trying to bring like
Happiness and you know.
Well, it's
more
entertainment.
content?
Like it's
Season with, like,
entertainment. You have to make
celebration.
it
they're an entertainment like network. They need
You're
that.
trying to cut away.
they're
the
like trying to
entertaining part.
like expand the game, and you're taking that away and rendering people from doing that. A phone nowadays can reach millions of people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it was a great video too.
Like, come on, man.
We're going to be talking about crossovers between the NFL and the NBA in a little bit, but before that, we got to start digging into these final few semifinals. We already have talked a lot about this Bucks-Pacers game, so let's cross over to the other side. 9 o'clock tonight, Pelicans-Lakers.
Great game.
Lakers just had a pretty huge win in the
That game
last
was
round,
crazy.
That
and
was
the
a good
Pelicans.
That was
KD.
rigged.
Oh my God, KD man.
Game was rigged.
It's always a duel when they're.
It's-
He's shooting over like they're not there. It's kind of
Devin
disrespectful.
Devin Booker did not show up.
The Suns to me are really overrated right now.
Yep.
But they gotta
Said
say
that when
I'm
they
not
got Bradley.
They can't. They don't have anyone big down there besides Nurkic.
Nurkic is nice though.
Luka's gonna.
He's one man.
He is streaky.
Nurkic is nice.
He doesn't mean
Nurkic is one
I've
man.
watched him for a long time, watching the Blazers, and he'll drop, 20 and
Oh, yeah,
10,
I ain't
but then
saying
he
he
goes
But then he
6 and
goes
4,
cold.
and
He's like
it's.
But he
He's
don't
like a
have to drop
Walmart
20
AD.
and 10 no more. He could do
He's
0
like
and
a Walmart-
15.
He's like a Walmart Anthony Davis, just inconsistent.
I think he's a more of a Steven Adams type of guy.
Oh, I don't know about Steven Adams.
Yes,
Is that guy.
actually, I
think
agree with that
because Steven
comparison.
Adams can go and he can go be a big body and he can go get you a double double on a random night, but then the other nights is gonna be like he's gonna go 6 and 2.
But his presence,
Yeah, his
he has
presence is
he has
completely
him
different, though.
He
and
wouldn't
Jaren
carry
Jackson too.
Steven
They have
Adams
two
is-
bigs down there.
Steven Adams is super strong.
Yep.
Like absurdly
Scary
strong.
dude,
Yeah.
scary dude. Wouldn't want to start a fight with him.
Again.
I'm not saying Nurkic is weak either, but Drew Eubanks coming up. Come on, man. Like, come on.
That's a good point.
After that,
Like
Drew
that's
Eubanks.
not going. He ain't stopping a cold, bro.
Who's the team that got a pick taken away because they were tampering with Drew Eubanks earlier in the year?
Who was that? It was like who was that?
We were talking about it like a month ago.
Oh my God, who was that?
Like who's wasting? Who's
It was the
tampering with
Suns.
Drew
It was
Eubanks?
the Suns, wasn't it?
Is it really?
I think
It
was
might have
the
been. Yeah, I
Suns.
think it was the Suns.
It had to
but
be
they
the
ended up
Suns.
landing him anyway. But yeah,
Yeah, they got him anyways. But
I mean, they gave up a second round pick for him.
yeah, I don't know what they're
So-
doing.
Yeah.
Man, but let's be for the Suns, a second round pick is like really
Yeah,
nothing for
second
them
round in
right now.
2024.
They are
Next year, like that ain't gonna affect nothing.
Somebody lost a pick last year. I think. Oh, that might have been NFL actually. I don't remember what that was. No, it was NBA. I don't remember who lost a pick for some reason last year, but.
I can't remember either. But now Pelicans Lakers, big game tonight. What do you think is going to have to transpire for either team to win? So let's start with the Pelicans. What do the Pelicans need to do to escape this one with a win?
Zion.
Move the ball around.
I think it comes down to Brandon Ingram and
That's
CJ
it,
McCollum.
CJ McCollum,
CJ
when he
McCollum.
is
It's gonna come
hot,
down
He's
to
been playing
CJ.
real. He's a good
He's like-
facilitator.
Trailblazers guy right here.
Facilitator, man.
I know. It's watching them. You see, like CJ McCollum when he's hot.
If
you have
CJ is
three
on,
guys.
they're good riddance.
Herbert Jones is playing really good
yeah,
too.
all them Trey Murphy, they
Yeah,
know.
it's gonna have to be
good-
somebody
they
on
have
the other
good
side
players.
than Brandon Ingram
Really
and
good. They still have
Zion.
Alvarado, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he hurt,
Good
He's
defensive
hurt, I
guard.
think, but
And,
still,
and Jonas, ever since he left Memphis, he been balling.
they got.
That's like one
They
of
got
the
a really good.
perfect-
He's someone
underrated.
who's
They're
been consistent
underrated.
throughout his entire NBA career.
Yeah.
They got a steal out of him. I think. Yeah, I think it comes down to Zion mostly, but Brandon Ingram's gonna have to step it up too. So
And I think
Yeah.
that BI can do that.
They're gonna
Yeah.
Zion is gonna probably get taken away by AD. He only gonna be able to do so much. Even though Zion
he's
is
gonna have to
superhuman.
focus on Valanciunas though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So AD's got a load to guard tonight.
Well,
so.
then you have to guard Ingram too. I mean,
Well,
he can
in my
score.
opinion,
they gotta
in my
guard AD
opinion,
too.
in my opinion, I believe that LeBron is gonna probably be on Zion
Yeah, that's probably
I
the
would
best
take
matchup.
that.
I like
just
that.
size wise.
I like it.
Yeah, that's the best.
They both-
because
That'll be fun.
But then who takes Ingram?
that's the key. Yeah, that's gonna be the key. It's gonna be Ingram. It's
Austin
gonna be
Reeves.
Ingram.
British.
D'Lo? Oh no,
It's gonna be in between. It's really gonna come down to Ingram and McCollum.
I'm
to
not
be
gonna lie.
honest.
If D'Lo's guarding Brandon Ingram, pray Laker.
Oh no,
fans.
D'Lo, he's
Pray.
never been a
D'Lo,
defender.
he's a
Barbie
key
chicken for
too, because he'll give you 30 one night,
I think
making
Austin Reeves
5
needs to
plus
step
I
3
think,
pointers.
yeah, I think Reeves is more the key than D'Lo.
I agree.
We love Reeves.
What about,
Reeves if
Dorian
Reeves
Prince?
somehow get 20-25, it might be really close.
What about Dorian Prince or whatever his name is?
Dorian Prince.
Dorian Prince.
Boy,
3D
sniper.
monster.
Tyron Prince or something his
Sniper.
name
Yeah,
is.
he's a
He
3D
might
No,
guard.
no, man.
Brandon
He
Ingram,
might
actually.
guard Brandon. He's a really
Yeah.
good perimeter defender. So
Vanderbilt is a game time
Bi's
decision.
mostly a mid-range
Midi.
guy. So.
Yeah.
That's KD.
But that's like a great,
flashes.
man. He plays just like KD, and it's
KD
wonderful to
flashes.
watch. Yeah.
All right, so who you guys got, Lakers or Pelicans? So Vegas game, late game. So we'll start with Keys. Keys, who do you got?
LeBron not allowing it. Lakers. You see how he took over the game late against the Suns. He's not losing.
All right, one vote Lakers.
Give me Pelicans.
Pelicans,
I
1-1.
I'm not even hating on LeBron. I think Zion. They want that, man. I know LeBron wants it, and if he gets it, then if he wins this whole thing, okay. First of all, I want to give my props to LeBron. 39 years old, dropped 30, 10, and 5 steals last game. He has like 63% of their points off points and assists. Great. He's playing amazing right now. But I got Pelicans tonight,
Transcendent talent, for sure.
for sure.
I'm gonna go with the Lakers. Yeah, for all the things that Nazir just listed off with LeBron there, I'm gonna.
You're
AD
you're
has
using
to
the
show
points
up.
of a Pelicans
AD has
pick.
to show up.
Yeah.
Can't blame him. Can't blame
He shouldn't
him.
get
Pick him.
outplayed by Jonas.
Man, look at LeBron, man, so inspirational.
I'm going to go with the Pelicans. I just feel like
True.
when they're on, they're on.
What do you think, Jalen?
I'm going with the Pelicans because I think McCollum gonna step out and show out. To be honest, him and
Big
Ingram,
stage.
Yep.
ain't no one on that Lakers team can guard them two, besides Bron or AD,
And they
and
have
maybe
to-
Vanderbilt.
He's not gonna get much
He's not gonna get much tick, especially because they're gonna have to score a lot. He doesn't score much.
at all. Really.
So
I think they take away Zion out of this game because at the end of the day, Zion can't shoot. And you can only.
But when he can,
yeah,
I wouldn't
if
sleep on
Zion is
If
shooting,
I
he
wouldn't
develops
sleep
a
on him.
shot, like, we're not even asking for a 3.
I wouldn't sleep on his shot, bro. His shot is pretty good.
he can hit the midi.
Yeah, he can hit that midi very well.
He can hit that midi,
Maybe not.
man.
He used to hit that 3 in college, but not anymore.
They just, it's just the Pelicans
LeBron
got
know how
too
to play
much.
people that
They have a lot
Exactly.
more depth than the Lakers do.
They do. They have a lot. Trey Murphy. You listed them off. Trey Murphy, Herbert Jones.
yeah,
You
on
got- you
both
listed them,
sides of the
man.
ball. It's-
I'm going to take the Lakers to split it 3-3 with the
Yeah.
group. We'll see it. We'll see how it goes. I think that, especially in like a game that could land you in the in-season finals, I think that LeBron's more accustomed to it. So
Kid, Jordan Hawkins is something. I'm telling you.
I think
Well-
it's their time to shine, though, the Pelicans.
we'll
yeah,
find
they're
out
hungry
later.
for anything.
Really. They need
want-
something.
I want them to. No, they did beat Shy and them.
What about this other side? Pacers Bucks still just started the third quarter.
54.
I'm gonna give it to the Bucks because the Bucks just Lillard is going off right now.
So is Middleton.
He did
So-
just hit a 3.
Yeah.
10-point difference. Pacers currently up 67-57 on the Bucks as updated.
67-61 now.
67-61.
Tyrese, though, he's got
I'm behind.
15. He had 7 assists out of
Game
half.
at the line. I'm telling you.
I'm complaining about Google right now. Google's does not have the updated score,
Yeah,
but
Chris Middleton's going absolutely
I think he's like
bonkers.
16. I'm not capping. He balling.
well, we'll have to see
They'll
if the
probably
Bucks come back
run out,
into it. We'll have to see if the Pacers can hold on. We'll probably know. We won't know before the show is over, but I'm sure we'll be talking about it later.
It's going to be who can score more.
Yeah, the color scheme for the course. I don't.
You're right, Austin. The team that scores the most points will win the game. Great take there.
Don't want to be not too hot on the take.
I love when people say that, right?
Don't want to say anything too risky, but I think that the team that scores more points in this game is probably going to win it.
It's not a bad take. I like it.
In-season tournament, year one, lot to go over, but I think we got a good gauge on it. We're going to move on to our final topic of the day, and this is going to be where we cross over the NFL and NBA. We are going to do an NFL starting five. And what that means is you're going to make a basketball team, point guard, shoot guard, small forward, power forward, center, out of NFL players that are currently in the NFL. So you can't go back and reach for like Julius Peppers or anything like that. You have to use current NFL players. You're also going to pick an NFL head coach to coach this team in basketball. So some people have already put this together. Is there anybody who's got their team already?
I'm not picking Brandon Staley, I'll tell you that much.
Brandon Staley will not be on this team.
I'm not picking Matt Eberflus
Everybody
either.
going Beal. I'm pretty sure everybody going Beal.
Yeah, so,
Oof.
man, it's tough. So if anybody's got a team already kind of wrapped up, ready to go, or you could mention people who you think would be insane. I think that
Yeah, I got a couple people.
we already talked about Myles Garrett a little bit. Like, we've seen him hoop.
He's my
Yeah,
center.
yeah.
He's,
He's
my
a
power, he's my power forward
We
for
seen
sure.
DK
Yeah.
hoop too.
DK has a small forward. I could see that.
Odell's a good hooper, like really good hooper for like no reason.
Tyree Hill can ball.
Tyreek Hill, and
Yeah.
he's got insane I think that he could be a good two. A little bit of a slasher.
I feel like
Put
Lamar's
Derrick
good.
Henry as my power forward. He's gonna just run you over.
There's gonna be so many charges.
So we're just picking the strongest players possible.
Hey, he's like Steven Adams on my team.
I mean,
Valid.
obviously that's a big part of it. Is there anybody in the NFL that you think, like, you look at him, he doesn't look like much, but maybe he's got a nice three-pointer or something like that. Is there anybody who you think could be nice that we really don't know about, like just sneaky talented on the basketball court?
Give me Tyler Boyd.
I feel like Joe Burrow can ball, low key.
Sniper on him.
I feel like Tyler Boyd has a handle on him. I don't know what about him, but
These Bengals guys.
something about him. He's just, I love Tyler Boyd, man. Something about
For some
him.
reason, I feel like Joe Burrow is a menace.
Oh man.
He
I
could
feel
do
like-
some- he a sniper.
I feel like he just be like, I just feel like he
Steph Curry.
Low-key.
I
Low-key, Devontae Adams might be
I
nasty.
think he might be.
He might be nasty.
He
Lamar
would
Jackson?
be insane.
Lamar might. I don't know. I feel like Lamar throws up bricks. He gives me brick vibes.
too strong or something.
Not even
Man.
that. He just can't. He doesn't look like he's coordinated enough to shoot. I feel like he's athletic.
Man, Joe Burrow though. He that I don't know because I know he was hooping with Chase and Jefferson. I know they was hooping.
I feel like Keenan might be a good one. I don't know why. Just as like his build looks like a basketball build. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, and I mean, this is barely hanging out, but Jimmy Graham, obviously, it was a standout in Miami. He's not going to be in the NFL for long, but that's someone that I think you could add into that conversation. Great standout player. Does not like the media a whole lot, though, from what I've seen.
Not at all.
When he was in Green Bay, when I was working at WBAY, I talked to some of the guys there, and you're required to have media time at least once a month, I believe, is the number.
Yeah.
And he would go once a month. And he'd walk into the locker room and be like, all right, let's do it. And then everybody would just like run over to him because obviously they weren't,
They never
like Jimmy
talk.
Graham's is talking today, you got to get it.
yeah,
Right.
So, yeah, he'd be fun. Man, I'm trying to look back at some of these guys that were studs in college. Man, Antoine Randall was a baller for Indiana for a little bit of
Forgot
time.
about him.
Antonio Gates.
Antonio
Gates
Gates,
is fire, man.
man,
He's an underrated tight end
I think
as well.
He's top five all time.
Tony Gonzalez was a stud
Yeah. He
at
was.
California.
Yeah.
He was.
And he had some of the best Sunday Night Football intros ever.
Dame just
Yeah,
going nuts.
Yeah. 1-point game right now.
Okay, I think I got a cool.
I got a team as well.
All right, let's start with Nazir. He called it out first.
Okay, at the point guard position, I'm gonna go Keenan Allen. I think he's a little swift. He can make very smart decisions. At my 2, I'm gonna go Devontae Adams. I feel like he's a great shooter, great little spot up shooter. At my 3, it's tough. I wish I picked. I'm gonna put DK at my 6 man. I'm gonna do that.
Oh, okay. Who's your 3 then?
My 3, man, I had it. Who was it? Okay, I'll skip that one for a second. But my 4 is Myles Garrett, no question. And then my 5 would probably be like, oh no, actually, okay, I'll put Mike Williams at my 4 or my 3, and then I'll put Myles Garrett at my 4 and my 5. Man, who's a big body that's just like, maybe
You almost want to pick someone with height.
right. Oh, give me no wait.
Quinn Muirs.
Low-key, he was probably pretty good at basketball. But
Dude is just
give me George Kittle at my 5. Just
Man.
because he's athletic, so I'm just a small ball. I'm gonna do small ball.
You know, Big Ten basketball.
Yeah.
It doesn't really translate very well
right.
to the next level usually.
You're right.
Kind of depends on where you come from. Wisconsin, well, that's another thing. How many times has Wisconsin had a guy that developed into an NBA star, like, or at least developed at all in the NBA, other than like
Kaminsky.
Devin Harris?
Kaminsky, maybe.
Kaminsky kind of,
He was in the finals.
he was a role player in the finals, a very limited role player.
I don't know who else.
But I don't think you can name any other Badger that is, in recent time at least, that has made that jump.
Yeah, you can't.
Like Sam Decker, obviously, is not even in the NBA anymore.
He's playing good overseas.
That's what I heard.
Pretty sure,
He's
but-
hooping. John Lure never did anything.
Yeah, he is.
I don't know. What about that Johnny Davis? Did he just get? He got drafted to the Wizards a few years
Yeah,
ago.
he's not. He's been not looking good, from what I've seen.
Not
His
as
brother's
good as-
looking good though in college still, I think. But
Yeah. I mean, obviously, college basketball. There's a lot to talk about there. Well, especially in Wisconsin, we just saw that Marquette Wisconsin game. That was
That was a good
huge.
upset.
great game.
Yeah, I think that was good for both teams. I think that Marquette needed to come back down to earth a little bit, and I think that Wisconsin needed to prove that they could still do stuff on offense,
Yeah, for sure.
because that's something that they've struggled with, especially over the last few years since their Big Ten title.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, one person that I thought of would be, I think that it just makes sense. I think that as a head coach, Mike McDaniel would be hilarious, because I feel like he would just have a mean. He's already got. He dresses like an NBA player already on the sideline. I bet you he's got just like, he's gonna be the team player. He's gonna, if you put him as a coach, I think that he's gonna get the respect of his guys right away, and he's gonna be able to help them merge. And he likes to put up points.
Yeah.
I think I'd
He's
say
good-
Sean McVay, my coach.
Sean McVay, that'd be
see
another
that.
good
I can
option.
see
He
that.
could be a really good basketball coach. I feel like.
One of the shortest basketball
think
coaches of
I'd
all
be
time.
Dan
That's
Campbell.
true.
I have Campbell as well.
My coach was Dan Campbell.
Dan Campbell would be. Oh man, I would love to see
He'd be
him.
my
Caps.
assistant coach.
He get you ready. He get you ready on game day.
He's someone who would suit up and
Yeah,
compete against Miles Garrett in practice.
Yeah,
What he wants
exactly.
to get done.
He's not scared of you. Aiden
true.
Hutchinson, speaking of, would be a great option as well. Extremely athletic, extremely.
I forgot about
Dude,
defense. for
my
some
center
reason.
is Jordan Davis. That dude can do it all. 350 pounds, running the way that he does. Did you see how good he can sing? He's going to be on the next Philly Christmas special thing. That has nothing to do with his basketball game at all, or his football game.
Speaking of singing,
but
Victor Oladipo
the
is
man can do everything. The man can do absolutely
It's a good
everything.
pick. It's a good pick.
Who's going to want to try and meet Jordan Davis at the rim?
Nobody. Well,
Miles Garrett.
Miles Garrett.
that's it.
And he's on his team.
Right.
Miles is different breed for real.
Miles is, yeah, but man, the last week he got laid out by Kyron Williams.
Oh my God, he was getting.
I know he was already getting
Kyron
there.
Williams one-on-one with Miles Garrett. See what
Oh,
happens.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's a murder scene on the Rams.
I get it,
On Rams field.
but like you don't expect that. Like I open up my phone, first thing I see is Kyron Williams laying out a potential defensive player of the year.
Yeah.
That was crazy to me.
My
Just a
point
little
guard.
chip block.
My point guard would be Drake London. He was a baller in high school.
He was a
He was
baller.
he was in a dunk contest.
Yeah, he was good. Very athletic.
Me, Drake London.
Who's joining Drake London on that squad?
Derrick Henry's gonna be my small forward.
Charge.
He gonna be able to, like, if we talking about it, he gonna be able to guard somebody because he's as big as LeBron and fast. He's big as LeBron. I mean, ain't nobody stopping him. But my shooting guard, God, looking at Devontae Adams, but I need to go with somebody different.
Yeah, it felt so hard to pick because there's so many people to choose from. If we would have like said like put a starting 11 offense out from the NBA, that might have been a lot easier.
I was
but-
thinking about Justin Fields, but he's stupid athletic, but I don't know if you know how to play basketball.
Can't throw a football.
Hey, but this is the time you actually need his athleticism.
I'm telling you, man.
Basketball.
Adams at a 2.
Justin Fields. I mean,
And then my power forward is Miles Garrett. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm taking him. And then my 5.
those
Probably
swap
Chris
teams at halftime.
Jones.
Ooh.
That'd be a
5
good one.
probably be Chris Jones.
That he pushes through offensive linemen.
So you got Drake London
Cuts
leading
through
the
like
point.
cheese.
Then you got Justin Fields with his athleticism. Then you got Derrick Henry, who's you're not running through him. Then the 4 is
Can I
Miles Garrett.
can I change my 5?
And then it's gonna be Chris Jones. Yeah, you ain't beating that
no.
5.
Hold on.
Change your
My
5, man.
My 5 is Max Crosby.
That's good.
That is a monster right
and
there.
he's got long arms too,
Yeah,
dude. His
and he's athletic. Oh,
his reach
man.
has got to be 6'10".
He would fire. He's like a Dan Campbell.
Yeah, that's why I
player,
picked Chris
I feel
Jones.
You put him
That
in
would be a nice matchup down there in the paint.
Oh yeah, for sure.
in basketball or football. If you put Max Crosby in the same room as Dan Campbell, it's going
Oh,
to
yeah.
be
Right.
raps.
That'd be
I
sweet.
hope he goes to the Lions one day. Just,
Man, just to see that would be extremely entertaining.
that'd be so fun to watch.
But man, you
I
could throw
got,
Travis Kelsey in there. You get Taylor Swift to your game.
Boo.
Travis Kelsey gonna be my sixth man.
Didn't pick him for a reason.
Travis Kelsey's my
You were
sixth
thinking
man.
about him though. He was in your mind.
You're right. He was.
He gets so much money in viewership.
Hey, a marketing plan that could work extremely well for us if we put Travis in the game. But man, Jason Kelsey will not play though. There's no way he can shoot a basketball.
He'll be an assistant coach to Dan Campbell.
Be a fan, super fan.
I got Hill at point guard,
Ooh, quickie.
and then either like a Micah Parsons or like the Nick Bosa at center.
Ooh,
For the power forward, Julio Jones, the prime Julio. Yeah.
that'd be fun.
Shooting guard, AJ Brown or like a Metcalf, small forward,
Derrick
Adams,
Henry's locking him up.
and then a Dan Campbell as
Derrick Henry is locking him up. You ain't beating Derrick Henry in the post.
I mean, these guys are a foot taller than Henry, so
All right, who would be the worst team out of NFL players to be turned into a starting five in the
are we
NBA?
adding
Quarterbacks.
offensive line or no? Yeah, yeah.
Rodrigo Blankenship.
Mac Jones,
Daniel Jones.
any Jones.
All Jones.
Somebody grab all the Joneses in the NFL and put them on a basketball
I
Cousins.
bet
team.
you we could do it too.
It's probably Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins.
Kirk cannot hoop.
He can't hoop.
Baker
He
would be
can't
really
Kirk-
good.
Kirk
Baker
cannot
ball,
guard
so
either.
Baker
I think
would
it's
be a
Kirk
good ball.
and Mac.
can't.
and
Hey, he's not gonna
Kirk
smack talk
guard.
either.
Yeah.
Oh no, Kirk can't guard either.
Kirk Cousins is
He's
going to
falling
get
to the
laid
ground.
out in a
Oh,
screen,
yeah.
and he's going to be like, "Thank you."
He's too proper. He ain't got that dome.
Like, Tom Brady got a little shot on him. I don't know if you guys have seen the
He can hoop.
video.
Yeah, he launched that Lombardi
Man.
over that boat.
He get
that
one elbow with his raps.
He got a Michael Porter Jr. shot.
Tom Brady, you got to. I think if he's still in the league, you got to have him on that team just because
Aaron
he's going to
Rodgers.
find a way to win.
Yeah, for
He's
sure.
probably the
Aaron Rodgers, Justin Fields would just take his Achilles. I mean,
Come on, bro.
And he'll get it right back 2 months later.
literally, that's crazy to me.
They got to do research on that, by the way.
it's
Like,
a calf
if
strain.
it actually works
I've
out,
seen the memes
It's a
where it's
calf
like
strain.
he'd rather like
Yeah.
the NFL will be doing their
Exactly.
research. They're going to forget all about the concussion stuff that we've been worried about for the last decade. They're going to try and figure out how Aaron Rodgers regenerated his Achilles in 3 to 5 business
They're gonna-
days.
I still
Of
don't
all
feel
of
like he
his
fully
little
tore.
spiritual,
Bro,
you know,
he hurt his calf.
I don't think he fully tore. it.
He did not fully tear that.
There's definitely
There's
a
no
strain.
way.
I
He's
thought we
old.
saw
He
a pop.
strained his calf and
I
his
don't know.
Achilles.
I saw a
got-
pop.
I saw a pop.
Yeah, and his calf got like strained and like pulled. or something. I
Yeah,
don't know.
so it got, he got
telling
strained
you.
really fastly.
I'm telling you, it's a partial tear
Jumped
in
off
the
the ball a little bit
Achilles.
too and then reattached itself.
A partial tear in his Achilles. He felt it in the moment, and he couldn't do anything for a few weeks. He got some surgery, and then he was off of whatever he likes to take on his free time, just because it's Aaron Rodgers. So
Yeah, well, I'm sure the Jets would rather have him back right now. They got Tim Boyle, who sucks, and Zach Wilson, who doesn't want to play football anymore.
I think he needs to go home and sit down.
Tim
and wait till
Boyle
next
just got
year.
released.
Really?
He got released
Yeah,
like
halfway through the
yesterday.
Falcons game, they put in Trevor Simeon.
Yeah. Man, that's the right option.
They
Tim
should've got
Boyle's just,
Carson Wentz,
Tim
man.
Boyle didn't do anything in college to prove that he should have been an NFL quarterback.
They
even.
should have got Carson Wentz. They'd be in
What
better
did
he
Mitchell,
was, like,
same
our
thing. What has
top-
Mitchell Trubisky done in college
top back.
to make him a third pick?
That's true.
That's just Bears,
He
man.
did go to the Pro Bowl, though.
Bailey Zapp.
Yeah, because somebody else
2018
couldn't
Bears.
go. Yeah, that's just like Mac Jones. He went to the Pro Bowl because Patrick Mahomes couldn't go.
I tell you what.
How did Matt Nagy do good in 2018? That's what I'm googling next.
Paper will go under.
And
Why
then
would John
2019.
Fox pick him?
Yeah,
John Fox,
we
that
don't-
is-
John Fox.
That's who picked Mitchell Trubisky.
Yeah, right.
It was John Fox.
I'm not sure what's going on there. You had a chance to get Mahomes, right?
I feel like
Yeah, he decided he had the chance to get
Do you
Mahomes,
think
Deshaun Watson.
Do you think Mahomes would have been good as a Bear?
No.
Honestly,
No,
no.
I really don't.
We would have
I feel
held
like
him back.
Andy Reid
the
kind of
nature
made
versus
him like
nurture.
Yeah,
who
he
he
did.
is,
I
honestly.
feel like Mahomes would have like the same team. As
He also
now,
sat.
with the Bears.
He would be like Justin Fields,
Oh yeah.
not be able to do anything
Imagine
else.
Justin Fields is on the Chiefs with
I
Tyreek.
don't think he could. Well, yeah, he don't got no.
He would throw the ball to himself and just.
Throw the ball. Like, come on.
By the way, in the last 10 minutes since we stepped away from our in-season tournament conversation, the Bucks are now back in the lead.
Dame, second half.
78-74 on my
Middleton.
screen, probably even better than that right now. They were outscoring them 27-11 to start the third quarter.
78-76 on my screen.
Yeah, all right. Well, the Pacers made a bucket. So still 27-13 in the third quarter so far. Bucks are back in it. With that being said, is there anything that anybody wants to add on to the NFL starting five conversation before we reach our final thought of the semester?
Saquon could be a cool little point guard, maybe.
An
True.
underrated small forward or power forward, Mike Evans.
Mike Evans would be good.
I feel like that would.
Yeah,
Anybody feeling Dak Prescott? No.
not okay.
Not even. Me neither.
Fine up there.
You can keep it.
All right. So would NFL players play better in the NBA than, or would NBA players be better in the NFL? Like who?
NFL,
NFL players
NBA,
play better in the
I feel
NBA.
like they train to be way more explosive.
Yeah,
so it's
athleticism
just,
is key when
Yeah,
it comes to that.
man, I think
You
that
think who?
I think that NBA players would be able to transition a little bit better to the NFL
Just
though.
look at Drake London. Dude was skywalking.
Who in the NBA right now is playing good in the NFL?
LeBron.
Okay.
LeBron would play
LeBron's
good.
doing it.
Zion would be a good like linebacker.
Oh, yeah.
He'd be a good tight end.
Steven Adams.
Steven, yeah.
Okay.
And line him up.
Yeah, those guys
Valanciunas.
and those
Yeah,
get
this would be
throw
interesting at wide receiver.
throw a bunch of those guys jump balls.
Yeah,
Like,
I know, that'd be
yeah,
crazy.
Kevin Durant.
Desmond Bain.
He-
looks
who's
like
guarding
one
Kevin
of
Durant?
those-
He would get broken in half.
Desmond Bain
Kevin-
looks like
That's
one
true.
of
He can catch it, but the second
Doesn't
he catches
matter.
it,
He's over.
It's
it.
just
Soft
don't-
guard
don't-
coming across.
Don't let him run in the middle of the field where a linebacker's going to rip him up.
Giannis would be
Yeah.
a good little edge rusher. I
Yeah.
feel like
he would be a crazy.
Giannis would be
rusher.
scary on the
Dude, put him
edge.
on special teams. Let him just line up like this in front of the
Oh, God.
field goal.
Imagine Joel and B.
Wimby.
I heard
Wemp-
a
oh my
question
God.
He would
that,
get destroyed.
okay, so
His legs.
He'd be the quarterback.
one question I
Yeah,
heard
I-
was, would you rather have like a certain amount of like an offensive lineman? It was on like the Travis Kelsey, you know, like that whole podcast that they do. It was like, yeah, like would you rather have like 80 of them or 12 of a skill position player, like trying to go against each other?
Oh,
Like
the way that the NFL is now giving you 80 linemen.
80, or I don't even know the number, but if someone
Yeah, but like,
Yeah.
like they mentioned on there, what lineman's going to keep up with Tyreek Hill?
so you would want.
I mean,
guys
it's
just
an
like
interesting
20.
debate. I mean, you can run like a 20 lineman deep zone to make sure that Tyreek doesn't get to that point, but
Make a lineman.
nobody's going to keep up with them.
Linemen are
Linked
fast.
arms and just.
Make a lineman.
But then if you're a speed guy, yeah,
Who's,
like, you
who's
wouldn't
making
be
the
able
calls
to
too?
Stop.
Whose offense is it? Is it Andy Reid's
Brandon
offense or is it
Staley.
Frank Reich's offense or Nathaniel Hackett's offense?
Matt LaFleur's offense. How about that?
I don't know.
Bunch of jet sweeps.
Something would be fun to see, but we never will, unfortunately. So, with that being said, we're going to get into our final thought of the semester, man. The last one for a couple of you. Some of you may be back, but we're not going to waste any time. Want to make sure everybody gets their piece. Jalen, you're up.
Give Otani what he wants and sign Cody Bellinger.
I will never say go Cubs as a Brewers fan. Sorry.
Give them all the hate you want. The Falcons are sitting atop the NFC South. I don't care that they're 6-6. I'm happy to see them in the playoff race again.
Yeah, well, I mean, if the Packers were there, they would be in first too.
Easily
So.
division of all time.
Hey, we beat the Packers too, so.
You shouldn't have. But the Packers shot themselves in the foot in that one.
Hey, a dub's a dub, you know?
Yeah,
Give the ball to
Not
Bijan.
happening again, right?
Give the ball to Bijan. Adam.
For mine, I'd have to say, for the Pro Bowl, add more skill games like in the Survivor show. You know, like where it's actually like something like hard. Where it's not just like. Just add
Playing ultimate
add more
frisbee.
games, like add more like hard
Dodgeball,
competitions somehow, you know?
Hang on to a pull-up bar for as long as you can.
Yeah.
Test grip strength. Test mental
I-
He going,
I'd
strength.
be
he going
curious.
Marines.
That's how people never come back to the Pro Bowl. They're like, man,
They're like, "Nah,
that was
good."
supposed to be my off time in
Not like a
Hawaii.
pull-up, not like- you know what I mean? Like,
They're just trying to relax, play some dodgeball, man. Jarvis
trying to
Landry's
talk
another
about
guy that
war
can
next
go.
Ninja Warrior or something.
That'd be fun. Yeah, I like the races though. I like the quarterback games. They got to redo those. Nazir, you're up.
I got quick theory ones. Free Herbert, first of all. Free him. Fire Staley. My number 2, I'm waiting for that Dame jersey, yeah. And Anthony Davis needs to stop playing so soft and turn up a little bit. Get 27, 10, 5, and 2 tonight for my fantasy team. You know,
I could never get into fantasy basketball.
Fantasy basketball is really hard to cover.
it's
too
fun.
tough.
I like
yeah,
it.
it's every day.
And then
can't do-
my
I mean-
last one would be let's trade for Tyreek Hill. How about that? I don't know. Just wanted to throw that out there. Maybe an ideas for the future.
Maybe throw Quinn Johnston on the other side of that one.
Oh yeah, or just send him overseas. Whatever works.
He could go join the German football league.
Yeah, some I don't know. Get him out of there.
Keys, what do you got?
Final thoughts, man. Really, I have fun doing Hawk Talk. We finna run a table. Packers finna run a table. 10-7, claiming it now.
Smacked by the Niners first round.
Yeah, I'd rather not
Smacked
go to
by
the
the
playoffs
Eagles.
than we're gonna
Second round.
Well, that's how it goes.
You got a
But
strong point with that one.
And smacked by the Eagles.
Yeah, that's it.
yeah, well,
Ravens,
10
Eagles.
seconds left. Thank you guys again for a fantastic semester. Thank you for tuning in to Hawk Talk here on 91.7 The Edge, WSUW Whitewater, as well as live on UWW-TV's YouTube. So long for now. We're going to get back to alternative music here on The Edge.
Yeah.